How's it going, YouTube? You're not going to believe this, but this Wednesday video is actually on Wednesday. And we're going to call this one Blinders. And we're going to read from Acts 9, 1 through 7. And so I'm going to start reading. It says, "Meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. He went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any who belonged to the way, whether men or women, he might take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, 'Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?' 'Who are you, Lord?' Saul asked. 'I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting,' he replied. 'Now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do.' Then the men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. They heard the sound but did not see anyone. Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand into Damascus. For 3 days he was blind and did not eat or drink anything." So we're talking about Saul, right? And Saul, later his name was changed to Paul. And this before that, he's a Pharisee, and he is doing everything he can to be the best Pharisee he can. I guess you could say he's trying to earn his salvation through what he believes is the right way, through what he's taught, through the law and his actions and his keeping up with the law. And so part of that was these people of the way, these Christians, they're breaking the law, and I gotta stop them. I gotta stomp them out. I can't have this, right? And this makes me a better Pharisee. This makes me more acceptable to God, or whatever it might be that drove him, right? And this is what he did his entire, a lot of his existence, right? And he's on this road, this bright light. He falls to the ground, and he hears this voice, and the voice says, "Why are you persecuting me?" And he says, "Who are you?" And he says, "Jesus, whom you persecute." And in fact, in other versions, it says, "Why are you kicking against?" It's hard to kick against the goads, meaning Saul read the Bible, and these Pharisees, they knew the Bible better than most of us do, right? They knew it from the beginning to the end. They were, the religious leaders of this time, and they studied it. So for what Jesus is saying is that you know the truth, you've seen it. You've seen the prophecies that talked about me. You've seen, every year you go and you sacrifice a lamb to pay for your sin. And that is a picture that shows what Jesus would do on the cross and dying, right? And you reject me. And, that's what he's saying. He's kicking against the goads, right? He knows what the truth is, but he's trying to go his own way and do his own thing. He's trying to earn it himself. And it's obviously, when he says it's hard, meaning, it didn't give him the happiness that he expected. He thought if he did all this stuff to earn his salvation, he'd be happy in his life. A lot of us have the same thing, right? We think, hey, if we're just a good person and we do all this stuff for other people and we don't hurt nobody, we'll find happiness in this life through ourselves. And we got these blinders on, and when we're born, we don't have them blinders. We see creation, we see God, and we see what He's done, and we should easily know that there's a God in heaven that created us, right? Yet we reject Him. We say, we find out ways. The more we have people say, hey, let me tell you about my Jesus, we put on these blinders even more. No, I can prove you wrong. Look at my science. Look at my theories. You know what theory is? It's something that's thought of but not proven, right? And there's a lot of theories. But, if you look at your own creation, as God says, it cries out that there's a creator. Okay? And so Saul's doing all this stuff. He's got these blinders on. and the more these Christians come, more he puts these blinders on and tries to make it himself. And he must have felt like his life is falling apart. Is basically the way that Jesus sounds in this. Is it's hard, you know. And in this moment, when this light shines, basically Saul's life is broken. More than one way, right? Because everything he did in life, everything he was trying to achieve, he realized was for nothing. Okay? So he's broken in that way, but he's also broken in the fact that now he's blind. And what is a blind man going to do? He can't find nobody in that day and age, right? Typically, the blind would be out begging, and that would be it. That would be all they could do. They had no jobs for a blind person. What's he going to do? So his whole life had fallen apart. You know, that's how we are sometimes, right? I know maybe you got friends or family, or maybe it's you, right? And you're working so hard and you're trying to do the best you can, and maybe you're saved, maybe you're not saved, maybe you think you're saved, but you're saying, well, I go to church, I converted, I'm a good person, I tithe, I do all this stuff. Maybe you say, hey, I work at a church, I work at a religious organization. But you find this hole and this lack of happiness. And you're like, I don't get it. I must have to work harder. I got to earn it better. I got to do more. And reality is, that's the problem. And a lot of times, God will allow us to get broken like Saul was. And make us blind to where all we can see is the truth. We can only see Him. Right? And it's not a blinders to see Him. It's the truth. You can see clearly. 180 degrees, 365 degrees, sorry. 360, I'm way off. I'm actually decent at math, so that's bad. But, we can see everything. He breaks it so we can see everything. We can see the truth. And you know what? There's two things we can end up doing. We can either end up just grabbing them blinders, throwing them back on. No, I don't want nothing to do with you. And tell the Lord that. We can say, Lord, what would you have me to do as Saul did? And he was told to go somewhere, and God made him wait 3 days. 3 days. Blind. Do you think Saul was thinking, did I really hear that voice? Well, he believed he did because he stayed there 3 days. Right? And so many times we're the same way. Like I said, we have a choice. Either we can throw them blinders back on. Look what God did to me. He allowed this person to commit suicide. It just hurts me so bad. Or He allowed this person to die of this disease. Or, He's allowing me to lose my job or anything else. Or I just don't, I don't want nothing to do with Him. The truth is, that's eternity. Eternity consists of this. Do you want a relationship with Jesus Christ and God? Or do you not? Because if every good thing comes from God, then what are you left with when you have no relationship with Him and you're not around Him? When He separates Himself from you, what are you left with? You're left with, pain, suffering, torment. That sounds awful lot like how hell is described in the Bible, right? Why do you think it's that way? I think it's because God takes Himself out of it. And it ain't that, eternity ain't, oh, well, God just hates you so bad, He's just going to, crush you. The truth is, He wants you to go to heaven. He wants a relationship with you. He wants you to spend eternity with Him. But we have to make a choice. And it ain't, hey, can I earn it? It's, Lord, I'm a failure. It's humble yourself, right? I'm a failure, Lord. I need your grace. I don't know why you want to give it to me, but Lord, I need it and I want it. And more than that, Lord, I want a relationship with you. Or I don't want nothing to do with you. There's a couple times where we see stuff on the other side of eternity, right? After we've died or whatever, we see visions of it. There's Lazarus, or the rich man and Lazarus, right? And I don't, and then there's people at the white throne judgment saying, Lord, did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not do this in your name? And they say, look at all the stuff I did. But in neither case do I see them saying, Lord, I'm sorry, I failed. I wish there was a way I could just have that relationship with you because I want it. You see that? You don't see that because I think one thing that's true about eternity is that we will absolutely know the truth. There will be no lying. There will be no falsehoods, right? We will know our choice. And God will know our choice too. He already does. So we can lie and say, hey, I'm a good person. I've said the words. Jesus come into my heart. But, I don't want anything really to do with them. I want to be saved. I don't want to go to hell. That's not the truth, right? I don't want to see you stand there on the day of judgment and say, did we not do this in your name, Lord? You see, if you don't have that relationship with Jesus Christ, his son, it's all that matters. It's the only thing that can save us. It's the only way. It says, narrow is the way that leads to salvation. So if that's you and you have a hole in your heart, you can't feel it, or maybe you're doing everything you can to get attention to fill it. Maybe you're to the point of suicide. I don't know. Maybe you're just, mad at God because situations in your life. He wants only good for you. But in this world, we choose to sin. And that causes bad things for other people and ourselves. It's not what God wants, but it's what happens. And one day he's going to be the just God that he is. He's going to say, this is enough. We're going to fix this, and it's going to be just the way it's done. Right? And so you got that choice. Are you going to be like the Pharisees, lived in Jesus' day, who saw Jesus, heal the lame, heal the sick? They put him to death and he rose again, and they saw that? Are you going to be like them Pharisees that said, I don't want nothing to do with you, God? Or are you going to be like Saul, whose name was later turned to Paul, and say, you know what? You're right. I can see clearly now. You made me blind so I could see you clearly. Yeah, I'm in a broken state, but Lord, it's so good because I can see you right now. And you know what, Lord? I want you. I want your relationship with you in my life. You get that choice. So what will it be? I'm praying that you choose life. I'm praying that you choose Jesus Christ. If you have any questions, please message me and I'll get back to you. Comment and I'll get back to you. And if this inspires you, share with somebody. Or just share. More than that, I don't need no notoriety. Share what God has done for you with somebody else. Okay? Have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday.